in here is signed with me because them up for me. So, yes, I swear to God. But it was so long ago. Yeah, I'm just talking on camera. So I want to pay him a referral fee. And I'm going to say, look, here is the lease. Take a look at it. It's 1 year. You brought them. It happened. I'm excited. I looked who brought them. It was you. And I'm sending you a check right now. Cristo Street, where everybody ends up, where I have national tenants, and it just brings a lot of income, and it just brings a lot of the culture. And Cristo Street is just an amazing place. This is where I have a lot of buildings. All right, so let me show you. This is a building that is all condominiumized, so we only own this part and actually a back part in this building. But I bought it specifically because after jewelers told me this is the space we need to have, this is where we want to be, because I wanted to put them across the street at 251, but they said, no, this is where we want to be. So I took one tenant to show him the space, and he said, Cherif, I don't like pillars in the middle. I said, why? He said, you think like an honest man, you need to think like a thief. I said, well, what do you mean? He said, we're a jewelry store. Pillars mean problems for us because people can stand 2-3 people to look at a ring or a diamond thing or earrings, and they position themselves behind the pillar from one side or another, and they can steal an item. Not exactly the sexiest fingers, but nevertheless. So how much do I have right here in my hand?
Well, you're looking at a 10 karat natural yellow round diamond GI certified that retails for approximately 800,000. We have a 10 karat GI certified VS2 diamond that retails for approximately 650,000. We have a natural GI certified green diamond with natural pink diamonds, retails for about 350,000. And I have one of a kind 50 karat Colombian emerald ring, no treatment, 1000% natural, one of the largest emeralds in the Caribbean islands. That one retails for about $850,000.
Holy Moses, so I got in my hand here about what, $4 million?
About that, yeah, give or take.
I'm buying next week package of 2 buildings, 5.1 million. If I have, that's the ring I'm missing, and I can trade them all for a package of 2 buildings. Wow, what is this one now?
That's a natural color changing stone. It's called an alexandrite. It's the only heart-shaped 4 karat 100% color change alexandrite available right now in the world. There's nothing that compares to it. It's one of the rarest and the most expensive gems ever known to man. It's called an alexandrite, discovered in Russia, and one of the best sources right now. It's in Brazil.
My God. Yeah. I said, but don't you have a camera? Don't you know at the end of the day? He said, what's the use? They already went back on a cruise and they're on another island. I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, so I would love to have you here. What can I do? He said, I'd like the space across the street. I'll even pay you more if you give me that space because it's smaller, but it's exactly what I need because people come out of my store, they will see Diamond International. They come out of Diamond International, they'll see my store, and we both advertise in the cruise ships. I said, can you give me $14,000 a month there? He said, no, but I'll give you 12. I said, can you shake hands on that? He said, we shake hands. I said, can we write something? He said, Cherif, just tell me when I can get in because there is another tenant there. So I went. I walked him all the way back to his car. They left. They went to New York. And I went to that tenant that is there across the street, and I told him, hey, how are you doing? He said, I'm fighting with the landlord. I don't want to pay him and all this. I said, listen, I may buy the place. Do you want to leave? Yeah, he's not going to let me leave. He's going to make me pay a big penalty. He was holding me by the neck, by the throat. I said, wait a minute. Listen to me. I will become the owner. I'm happy to work with you. He said, really? Okay, let me think about it. Let me talk to my wife. You know, let me talk to my wife, let me talk to my husband kind of responses, like they want to sleep on it. They can't decide because in their whole life, everybody decided for them. You know, when they're kids, they told them what to wear in school, the uniform. They told them what they're going to study. They even tell them what they're going to study in university. When they're going to get married, they ask mom and dad, should I marry her? They ask their friends, should I marry her? Should I marry him? People make no decisions. So he said, let me think about it. Let me talk to my wife. Anyway, I called the owner and I said, I'd love to buy the building. He said, well, good timing, I want to sell. I said, why? He said, I can't tell you why. I already knew that the tenant wasn't paying him and fighting with him, so I knew why he wanted to sell. So I was able to buy that building. We bought it very quickly. It was like literally 4 days because it was a free and clear building. I gave them cash and seller carried the note. I had to explain to them what the carry note is through their lawyer, and they educated them on, wow, you're going to get cash flow. And we closed so fast. It was simple transfer of ownership. And then I walked back into the tenant place and I said, remember I talked to you about less than a week ago? He said, yes. I said, do you want to leave? He said, pay me $40,000, I'll take all my equipment out. And I said, how about if I pay you $30 and you leave everything here? He said, done. We shook hands, I paid him $30, we left as friends. As friends, we actually had lunch with that tenant. That right after he left and the big tenant came in, that's Effie's space that I toured the other day, and they paid me $12,000 a month. And in that original space where now Adidas is, I actually, instead of having one big space for one tenant, I said, what if I split it? So I split it, put glass door entrance, and it immediately rented on one side with a cosmetic company and clothing store. And Adidas called me to be on Cristo Street, but I had nothing available. And I said, let me show you Fortaleza. You'll be here and I'll charge you a little bit less. And they said, done. Where do we sign? I ended up making more money by splitting the space, getting 2 tenants. And it's great for the area to have Adidas and to have this other location. And the building now is cash flowing like crazy. The downstairs alone added value to the building of like at least $1.1 to $1.5 million if I turn around and sell it. But I'm not selling. Why will I sell?
So how did you know to split it? Was
I know to split it. When you can't find a big tenant for the big space, the next best thing is to split the space. So, and you can go from a space that's split to open it if you have a big tenant. So you have to be able to think outside the box. You have to think, okay, if I rent the whole space, I'll get maybe $8,000 a month. But if I split the space, I can get maybe $6,000 each side. So it would be $8,000, $9,000 better, or getting 12 better. And when I have 2 tenants, it's lower risk. So that's just how it happened. It just made more sense because tenants kept coming and saying, I just can't pay you $8,000, $9,000 a month, but I can pay $6,000. I can give you $6,000 anytime. $5,500 I prefer, but if you just give me like half that space. So when I had a tenant telling me I would pay you $6,000 for half, it was a no-brainer. We'll split it for you. So we had one tenant for half, we split it, and as we were doing the work and advertising and smiling and dialing for the other space, Adidas was one of the companies I called, and they said we're coming down to look. And they were very nice people and good people. So.
Awesome.
Very good.